Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and noticed your dog doing something strange? Maybe they were staring at a wall, or circling your bed obsessively, or pressing their body against yours so tightly it woke you up. Most people just roll over and go back to sleep. But what if I told you that the things your dog does in the night, those quiet, almost invisible behaviors, are actually one of the most honest forms of communication they have, and that most owners never realize it? Tonight, that changes. Dogs spend a huge part of their lives trying to tell us things. They can't use words. They can't write us a note. They can't tap us on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I need you to know something." So they use their bodies. They use their eyes. They use the timing and the rhythm of what they do. And nighttime, when the world is quiet, when distractions disappear, when it's just you and your dog, that's when they speak the loudest. If you share your home with a dog, what you're about to hear might completely change the way you understand them. Let's start with something almost every dog owner has experienced at least once. You're asleep. It's 2 or 3 in the morning. And suddenly, you feel it. A weight, a warmth, a pressure pushing gently against your legs or your back. Your dog has moved closer. Maybe they were in their own bed when you fell asleep. But now they're right there, touching you. Most people think this is just a comfort thing. And in one sense, it is. But the reason behind it goes so much deeper than simple warmth seeking. When a dog chooses to sleep touching you, they are not doing it randomly. They are doing it because, in that quiet moment, something in them felt the need to be close, to confirm that you're still there, that the bond is still intact. Researchers in animal behavior describe this as affiliative contact, a behavior that actively reinforces emotional bonds between individuals who feel deeply attached to one another. In the wild, wolf packs sleep in contact with their closest family members. Your dog is doing the same thing. In their mind, you are their family. You are their pack. And touching you while they sleep is how they tell you, silently, gently, in the dark, that you are the most important thing in their world. So next time your dog does this, don't push them away. They aren't being clingy. They're being loyal in the only language they have. But what about the behaviors that are harder to explain? The ones that leave owners a little unsettled? Here's one that almost nobody talks about. Your dog is lying quietly in the room. Everything seems normal. And then, without any obvious trigger, they lift their head and stare at a fixed point in the room. A corner. A wall. Sometimes the ceiling. They don't bark. They don't growl. They just stare, with an intensity that feels almost eerie. People all over the world have their own explanations for this. Some say dogs can see things we can't. And while the supernatural angle makes for a great story, the science tells us something just as fascinating. Dogs have a sensory world that is completely different from ours. Their hearing extends into ultrasonic ranges. They can detect sounds up to 4 times the distance we can, and at frequencies our ears can't even register. Their sense of smell is somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's. So when your dog stares at that wall in the night, they may be tracking the movement of a mouse inside the structure of your home. They may have heard a sound carried in from 3 streets away. They may be detecting a scent that drifted under your door hours ago and has only just reached an interesting concentration. They are not seeing ghosts. They are experiencing a version of reality that is so much richer than ours that it sometimes looks, from the outside, like something extraordinary. In a way, it is. Now here's something that owners rarely connect to emotion, but should. The circling. You've seen it. Before your dog lies down, they walk in tight loops, around and around, sometimes 5 or 6 times, before finally curling up and settling. It seems like a quirky habit, something to smile at. But this behavior is ancient. It goes back tens of thousands of years, to before dogs and humans ever shared a home. In the wild, the ancestors of modern dogs would circle to flatten grass, to check the ground for snakes or insects, to position themselves so they could see approaching danger, and to compress their own body heat into a smaller space to stay warm through the night. The behavior is so deeply encoded in canine genetics that even dogs who have lived their entire lives on soft indoor beds still do it. It's a survival ritual that has outlasted its original purpose, but your dog's body remembers it anyway. What makes this beautiful is what it tells you about trust. A dog who circles and settles in your bedroom, in your home, is a dog who feels safe enough to perform their most vulnerable, ancient ritual in your presence. They are going through the motions their ancestors used when surrounded by pack members they trusted with their life. That is not a small thing. There's another nighttime behavior that breaks a lot of hearts when owners finally understand it. Have you ever woken up to find your dog sitting or lying right outside your bedroom door? Not inside the room, just outside it, quietly waiting? Sometimes they're not even looking at the door. They're just there, positioned like a guardian. This is one of the most profound things a dog can do, and it happens more often than most people realize. What your dog is doing in that moment is protecting you. They have placed themselves between you and the entrance to the space where you sleep. In canine social structure, this is a role reserved for those who feel a deep sense of responsibility toward another member of their group. Your dog has, somewhere in the quiet architecture of their instincts, decided that keeping you safe is part of who they are. They don't need you to thank them. They don't need acknowledgement. They are doing it simply because, to them, you matter that much. If you've ever seen your dog do this and wondered what it meant, now you know. They were telling you, in the most ancient and wordless way possible, that they would put themselves between you and anything that might come for you in the night. And then there are the sounds, the soft whimpers, the muffled barks, the twitching paws. Your dog, deep in sleep, moving through a dream. Most owners find this adorable, and it is. But what's happening inside your dog's brain during these moments is remarkable. Dogs experience REM sleep, the same stage of deep sleep in which humans dream. Studies have shown that during REM sleep, dogs replay experiences from their waking lives. Their brains process emotions, consolidate memories, and work through social interactions much the way human brains do. When your dog whimpers in their sleep, they may be re-experiencing a moment from their day, a run in the park, a game in the yard, or even a moment of reunion with you after you came home. They may be dreaming of you. And if you've ever watched a sleeping dog's tail twitch into a slow wag, that's not just muscle reflex. That is joy playing out in the theater of the unconscious mind. Don't wake them. Let them have it. They've earned it. One last thing. Something small, but something that matters more than almost any other behavior on this list. Every night, before your dog settles for the last time, many of them do something that most owners never even notice. They check on you. A quiet walk to wherever you are. A look in your direction. Sometimes a brief moment of eye contact, just a second or two, before they turn and go back to their spot. That moment, that tiny, unremarkable moment, is one of the most genuine things another living creature can offer you. Your dog is not checking to see if you're a threat. They're not checking to see if you have food. They are checking because you are theirs, and they are yours, and before they give themselves over to sleep, they want to know you're okay. After everything, after all the science and the instinct and the ancient behavior written into their DNA, what your dog is really doing at night is loving you. Quietly, consistently, in ways you were never taught to read. Now you can. If this changed the way you see your dog, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And the next time your dog presses against you in the dark, or waits by your door, or checks on you one last time before sleep, you'll know exactly what they're saying. That's all for today on Pets In. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next upload.